Hi everybody and welcome to Module 5, Lesson 23 worksheet. Today we are doing equivalent fractions. Our review today is division by 6. So when you're dividing by 6s, it has the number line at the top to help you figure it out. And as you count, this would be your whole. So if you're dividing by like 24 divided by 6, you count over however many places they got you to 24. And then that number would be 1, 2, 3, and it would be I just did that wrong. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, because it doesn't have 0 on there, to see how many groups it would make to make your whole. If that was very confusing, remember division starts out with the whole, then you're doing your multiplication to find out what would give you that whole. So if you have 24 and you divided it into 6 groups, how many would be in each group? 6 times what would give you 24. So we're gonna move on. We're going to move on down here to equivalent fractions. So they gave you fourths and they gave you eighths. They already divided up nice and evenly for you. I love how they did this for you, so we don't have to worry about drawing it. So it says, list the equivalent fractions that are equal on the fraction strips. So I'm going to do a little bit of highlighting and erasing on this one, so that, and if you want to do it as well on your paper, or if you want to just kind of mark it off, you can do that too. So it wants to know what fraction is equal. What fraction of eighths is equal to a fourth? So I'm going to take my highlighter, and you don't have to do this if you don't want to on your paper, or you can if you want to with a pencil. That's my fourth, this whole thing. So this whole thing is going to be equal. So how many eighths do I have? I have 1/8 and I have 2/8. So 2/8 equals 1/4. So I'm going to erase this up here so we don't get confused, but if you leave it, that's okay too. So this time I'm dealing with 2/4. So I'm coming over here and I'm doing 1/4, 2/4. So there's my 2/4. I want to come down here because this is all of these eighths are going to be the same amount. So I know that the fraction that's going to be equal is going to be in eighths. I just need to count how many pieces are equal to that 2/4. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8. 4/8 would be equal to 2/4, or 2/4 is equal to 4/8. So I'm going to erase this up here. There we go. This time I'm going to go to 3/4. So coming all the way over here, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. 3 boxes of that. Come straight down. All of this over here is my eighths. All of these eighths are going to be equal to 3/4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eighths would be equal to 3/4, or 3/4 is equivalent to 6/8. Last but not least, the whole thing. It says 4/4. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, which is 4/4. So how many eighths would I have all the way across? I don't have to count this because I know equivalent to 8/8, or 1 whole is the same as saying 8 eighths. If you needed to count it, feel free to do that. It's totally fine. But we've been working with wholes for a bit now. I'm going to scroll down here. Write 2 different fractions for the dot on the number line. Use the lines on the number line to write the first fraction, then divide them into smaller fractions to find an equal fraction. Okay, so this one is going to be a little tricky. So we're going to do it 2 fractions to find equivalent. So we have this one, this one. So we have 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece. So we're dividing the top part into thirds. So we're going to do 1/3, 2/3. So my dot is on the 1/3 line. I'm going to divide my lines in half again. So I'm going to do a fat line. I'm going to do a line in the middle, and then a line on the dot. A line in between them, a line on my purple line, a line in the middle, and then that would be my last one. Now I'm going to count out how many spaces are in between. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm now dealing with 6s. So that's 1/6. This is 2/6. I'm going to stop there because I need to find the equivalent fraction for the dot. I don't have to go on for this one. I'm going to stop at the dot. So what is also at the dot besides the 1/3? 2/6 is at the dot. 1/3 is the same as saying, or it's equivalent to 2/6. So let's come down here to our next line. So we have one space, 2 space, 3 spaces. So again, we're dealing with thirds on this one. So we have 1/3, 2/3. So our line is on the 2/3. I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. I'm going to draw a line in between the 1/3 and the 0, on the 1/3, in between the 1/3 and the 2/3. I'm dividing each of my sections into a half. So again, 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4 space, 5 space, 6 spaces. So I'm dealing with 6 again. So this would be 1/6, 2/6, 3/6. This is going to be 4/6. Then we have 5/6. Oh, I don't even need to go on because I'm stopping at 2/6 or 2/3. So right here is the equivalent fraction. 4/6 is equal to 2/3. 2/3 is equal to 4/6. So this one is going to be, let's count our spaces, 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4 space. So we're dealing with fourths. So this would be 1/4. I'm not even going to do another one. I know that I'm at 1/4 because this would be 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. So if you want to go on with you can, but we're focusing on the dots. So I'm going to go back through my red and divide each line into half. So half, and then the purple one, half, 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 and then there's my last one. So this time I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8s. I have 8 spaces. So this would be 1/8, and this would be 2/8. So 1/4 is equal to 2/8. Last question. Vivian and Tatum each have a loaf of bread. Vivian splits hers into 4ths and eats 2/4. Tatum splits hers into 8ths. How much does she need to equal 2/4? So I'm going to put a T here for, or I'm going to put, wait, no, V for Vivian, and hers is 4th. I'm going to put a, oops, what did I do? There we go. I'm going to put a T here for Tatum, and she's doing 8ths. So, wish I could switch that to the other side, but I can't. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3. There's my 4ths. All right. She's going to eat 1/4, and she eats 2/4 is how much she eats. Now Tatum is going to do 8ths. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to do 8. So I need to divide mine into 8 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that would be 8. So I need to know, how much does Tatum need to eat to equal 2/4? So here's my end of my 2/4. I'm going to come straight down here. Oops, I wish I was fat, thick and fat. Do it that way. So here's 2/4, the end of 2/4, all the way down to here. So how much does Tatum need to eat? Tatum needs to eat this 1, 2, 3, 4. But Tatum needs to eat 4. I have a different denominator. I divided it into 8ths. So Tatum needs to eat 4/8 to equal 2/4. 4/8, 2/4 are equivalent. Love drawing pictures, love drawing tape diagrams. It's a great way to understand your math. So I hope you enjoyed equivalent fractions today.